Hi, my name is Aaron,
And I'm Christian.
and this is Brain 10. This is episode 17 on 10 ways to increase engagement on Instagram. And I think we actually have a couple of bonuses. I think there's 12 of them today. So, Brain 10, for those of you, this is your first episode. We brainstorm 10 ideas, at least on a show. We do it two to three times per week. And then we post the links down in YouTube with our show notes. So if you don't catch the show or don't want to watch the replay, you can just take our information and use it directly. So I will post a link to our YouTube page down below. And then if you, like I said, you have to jump out or anything, you can grab the show notes, grab the information from us, and either watch it on YouTube or just go and practice it right away. Let me turn off my phone real quick. Thank you for that, Christian. All right. And who has number one? All right. So, number one is ask questions with images. And what I mean by that is depending on what your agency is or what you're doing, you could post a question like, what are you doing for Christmas or what are you doing this weekend? It's an engaging question, and just in the comment section, tell people to reply to it in the comments. Now, this only works if you post a question and actually respond to your users. But if you do that, it will start engaging them to respond. People, they want to answer questions. They want to get in on the conversation. So if you make it an interesting topic, then it will start out. But it's not always going to start out with, large engagement at first if you don't have a big following. But keeping it consistent, which we'll talk about later, will increase that as well. So.
Alrighty. Okay, so number two, it's going to be mixing it up with raw video. So when we talk about raw video, these are the type of videos that you kind of do it impromptu. So like you're maybe on your way to a meeting or like you're working on something on the office and you take like, 1 or 2 minutes just to do a quick video on Instagram, maybe shout out to your followers, maybe tell them a motivational quote instead of just writing them one as a post, or maybe just tell them to have a great day. It's just a matter of engaging with them with just a raw video. It's just you're there, you're being you know yourself. That's what you want to do. You want to bring out yourself by doing those type of videos.
Right. And I think it makes it feel more real when the user does that, because right now there's so many like brands that like make pre-recorded videos and it's all about professionalism, whatever. They never actually see the real person.
Right.
And the people that I follow that are marketers and they do like recorded videos, it makes you feel like you actually know the person. I think that's the real benefit for the raw video. Professional, everybody's like, oh, I could see that online. That's just another thing. But being social media, that's you're actually engaging with them. They actually feel like you're a real person.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Moving on to number three, thank your audience. When you gain a new follower, this is the best practice, and it does take work. So when we say increase engagement, it's going to increase your engagement, but it does take work. So anytime you get a new follower, and it's a legitimate follower, not one of those spam accounts that are, give me all your Instagram, raise your Instagram feed to 10,000. Go to their page, go to their very first picture, like it, and then say, thanks for following me, appreciate the follow, or can't wait to see more posts about you. But be genuine. If it's something that's, you're actually interested in, if it's a shoe company or a bicycle company and you're a bicycle enthusiast or like shoes or whatever, just tell them like, hey, I love the page, or if it's really good, just at least say thank you. And they see that. I mean, it's above and beyond 99.9% of what everybody else does. And so you're going to stand out. And then when they see that comment, they're going to more than likely like some of your pictures back or comment back to what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. And I know you said like, thank your audience as in like your followers. But you also have to think about like people who maybe don't even know that you exist on Instagram, but they're using your hashtags or they're using your products, and they're taking pictures of your products, maybe you want to make sure that you target those people too, and thank them for that. That way they actually know that you're there, you're present, and you're actually engaging with that people.
Yeah, that is a very good point, because the hashtags are king on Instagram. I think we'll get to that as one of our topics. So that was number 3. So you're on to number 4.
Number 4, yeah. So number 4, a lot of people do this, and a lot of people know about this, is using emojis in order to kind of spice things up a little bit. So again, when you're creating content, you can use emojis, up in the location area. You can have emojis in your description, and you can even use emojis on your pictures. We've used emojis even on ads on Facebook, and they work pretty good. A lot of people know what emojis are. They're kind of like a universal language. So
Right.
Use emojis, spice things up a little bit. That way you get people maybe to notice more what you're posting.
Right. And I think if you use it strategically, you could even have certain words pop out. So like, one of our customers, she offers free shipping, and we use emoji like lines or emoji like exclamation points or something. And it really just highlights the fact that it's free shipping, or that it's a new item that's on there. And it's more engaging for the user to see something, because, we're drawn to pictures and images, and these are basically small pictures and images inside of the text. So it makes you want to actually read more. I don't know what the study would be on it, but I would assume that people read more text when the emojis are like embedded with it.
Right.
And it comes with practice. I mean, posting you don't want to post like a business book whenever you're selling like a cookbook, or keep it to relevant emojis too. I think that will help out a lot. But just playing around with it, you'll see higher engagement when you do use them. All right, moving on to number 5. Christian kind of touched about this earlier, but that use of hashtags. But with this one specifically, finding relevant hashtags in your industry, and then going to those profiles, liking the profiles, following those people, engaging with them, using the hashtags, and commenting. So anything that involves that hashtag. So if we did hashtag small business, you could go to the hashtag, to all those profiles, comment on there, and be like, this is awesome, or a great quote. A lot of times it is a quote, or behind the scenes of the small business. And you could, just give genuine comments. It's not necessarily hard. It just takes time. And, but those people typically follow you back. Whenever I do it, I do follow people from small business and go there and see what they're doing. A lot of people use it as like a spam, but, when they have genuine people that are posting things from small business, you can go in there, comment with them, and more than likely, they're just, they have a couple hundred followers. So they're really happy that somebody's commenting with them, reaching out to them. They end up following you back, and liking your pictures and commenting on your stuff later. So you gain insight to people who could be all around the world.
Yeah, exactly. So number 6 is kind of jumping into number 5 a little bit too. It's jumping into major accounts, or it could be even your competitor's account. Looking at their followers and jumping into some of their conversations, some of their pictures too. But you also want to maybe jump into actual conversations that are going on different social accounts. So you can start by finding your competition, and looking at their followers, and looking at maybe some of the pictures that they have, comment on some of their pictures, and start doing that engagement. Not even follow them, just talking to them, liking their pictures. That will bring some customers into to your account. Now, besides that point, then you also want to jump into major accounts. So you can, even if you're a branding agency, you can jump into, another branding agency. Maybe they're, having a conversation with their clients or their audience, and you want to put your 2 cents in there. You can go ahead and do that. It doesn't hurt anyone. It just, even if it's your competition, you can still, comment on their stuff and uh, create some friendly uh, argument or
Good debate or whatever.
conversation debate. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, and that just increases your exposure too, especially if you're like just starting out and your competition has a much higher follower count. They may not know about you and they may be interested in you. They just haven't found you yet. But if you leave a comment that's actually providing value to what they're interested in, so one way that I would say that you could have an upper hand on your competition and just go into their marketplace is that if the customer asks a question about a picture that's posted, or a question about a tip or something, and then that particular competitor is not good at social media or they're not responding on there, you could take that question, respond to that person inside of the comments, and they're like, wow, well, okay, at least you're responsive to what I'm saying and you're providing the value. Then at least me, I'm more likely to go to that person and say, okay, what other value can you give me? Because they may be a big account and they may have like all the resources, but if they never listen to me, then it doesn't matter.
Right.
All right, so that was number 6. Moving on to number 7, do shout out. So maybe pick a day of the week, and we gave an example of like pick your 5 most popular followers or something like that, or the most engaged followers, or the most mentions, or the most comments, and you could take a picture of their profiles, put it all together. I've seen this done before, where you have an Instagram picture and you add like their little bubble that we have even up here, which is like a profile picture. You grab their profile pictures and say like most involved influencers or most involved commenters. Post that as an Instagram picture and let your followers know that these people are commenting. And this gives exposure to the people who are not only following you, but the people who have seen this post as well. Or those people, because they'll more than likely, which we'll talk about later, they could repost that picture.
Mm.
Now, the one thing I did talk to Christian about yesterday was that I don't see the people actually atting, so like letting those people know that they are tagged in that picture. I think it's a good idea to not only tag them in the picture, but to comment about it and then use their usernames in the comment section so people who are scrolling can click on them too. If you help enough other people, they'll help you basically. And so you want to get those people exposure, because they're saying, hey, I got a new lead from the Instagram post that you posted about. They're going to refer you to somebody else too. It's a give and take kind of relationship, and the idea is really good as far as posting the pictures on there, but go that one step further and tag them in the picture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're saying tag them in the picture and in the comment, or not the comment section, but the description of that picture too.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to number 8, it's going to be repost. So there is, Instagram doesn't offer the option to repost something, kind of like what Tumblr or when you share something on Facebook. So what you have to do on Instagram is get a specific application for that. There's a whole bunch on the App Store. I think I have one. It's called Regram. I think that's what it's called. And I mean, they usually work pretty well. What Instagram does have is the ability to, if you have a picture that you like from another account, you can send it as a private message to one of your followers. Well, that's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about here is reposting a picture from somebody else. Now, again, if you want to do a shout out and you don't want to go through all the taking a picture of the profile pic like Aaron was talking about, you can do a repost. You can repost someone's picture, give them a shout out that way. Maybe post, one of the most popular pictures or one of those recent pictures, and give them a shout out that way by doing a repost. Repost, if it's something good, you don't have to recreate it. You can just repost it and share it with your followers. At the same time, give an exposure to that other person. So they might even do the same thing for you. So,
right. And I think with at least the app that I use Repost. Same similar concept as Regram, but it copies the text from that particular person and the image. So you repost the text exactly the way that they put it. It's like you're posting their Instagram picture on your page. And I would even say that if you go to an influencer or somebody who has a decent amount of followers, and that picture gets 100 plus likes, the only difference between them and you is that they have more followers, but you're going to still get high engagement with it. So pick a picture that has high engagement that you like as well. Make sure it's, relevant to your brand, but then repost that one too, because it's not only going to get exposure because it's popular from another person, which it has like a little caption down at like the bottom. It says like from,
Mhm.
Ludicrous or something, whoever it is, basically. But uh, they get recognized down there for that you're reposting that picture, and you can have it down at the bottom or on the side. I'm trying to make it look there, but they get the exposure as well, and so more than likely people are going to like it because they're like, oh, that's Ludacris's picture, or that's whoever's picture, and they can relate to that one as well.
Right.
All right, that was number 8.
Yeah.
Okay, moving to number 9. Direct message people. So keeping social media social and Instagram social. If you have something that's going on behind the scenes, or like a deal or promo, and you have your most incommented followers, or you have new followers or something, direct message them. I would not say to spam them like we see on Twitter all the time and send those automatic messages. That I despise those completely, because that is just spam. But anyway, keeping it on Instagram, direct message these people and say, hey, thanks for the follow. I appreciate the follow, and here's 10% off my book, or here's 50% off this PDF, or here's free access to my retargeting ads. I saw that you are interested in Facebook retargeting, or just say thank you, and it's send them to your website or whatever else. But that's just one way when they follow you. Another way would be that if you see that you're posting something about it, like for example, we work with a boutique. If they're liking this one outfit all the time, that every time you post it, send them a direct message and say, hey, I saw that you like this or whatever. I'm going to give you 20% off. Thank you for being an engaged follower on Instagram. I really appreciate it. And, if there's anything else I can do for you, here you go. It's all about the customer service and giving back to that person. And, if I get that kind of discount, I'm like, sweet, I was already interested in the product. Now you're giving me a discount and you're sending me this. I'm going to
Yeah.
go check it out.
Yeah, that's a great way. And again, it's another great way to, I mean, I know you despise Twitter and direct messages, but I mean, some people do it right. I think some people actually, engage with them, even if they tell them like, hey, this is an automated message, but
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
tell me about yourself. Let's start an actual conversation. I mean, even admit it to them. Hey, this is a automated message, but still, message me back, say something. Whatever. And I've seen those, and I usually respond to those. So I mean,
Did they respond back to you though?
sometimes,
Okay.
not always, but sometimes. Um, so I know you can't do that with Instagram right now, as far as automating all that stuff. So you have to do that, on your own, and you have to actually, type them in. So that's the only downfall to Instagram. There's not a lot of automated software out there for it, and it's because they've made it that way. So
I think it could also be like a good thing though, because you and I know that we can't do automatic messages, and people don't get a whole lot of DMs on Instagram because the ones that are sent out like in bulk, if you copy and paste it to everybody, Instagram flags that as like spam, and so you didn't even get that. But if you get a relevant direct message from somebody, then you're like, oh well, I'm gonna go and check that out, and here I go as far as the information. But to your point, just a side note on the Twitter, yes, I do get, if they do send me a direct message, I always look at it. And if they say that it's automated and they are like providing value and say like, hey, even though this is automatic, I do send this out or whatever just to say hello. But if you respond to me, I'm going to respond. And then if they actually follow up on that, then that's a great thing. I do think that is a good thing. But for Instagram, you do have to do the work, which is cool because then people know that you're actually genuine. So,
right. Okay, so moving on to number 10, which you actually still have 2 more after that. So number 10 is always tag your location. So even if you're, for example, always tag your location in order to, kind of like geotagging. I know Blab just added that little map up there, which is pretty cool. So you can do the same thing with Instagram and make sure that you're always tagging on your location. Now, you can tag the location that you're in right now, or you can create your own locations. I know I've read somewhere where you don't even have to do a location, just do the call to action up there. That's one of the first things that people see whenever you load up an Instagram picture. It's your name and then that location right there.
Mm-hmm.
So that location could be like a call to action. I remember a long time ago, it was someone kind of famous, maybe like a YouTube star or something like that. But they were trying to grow their Snapchat following. So on every single picture that they posted on their location, they would put "at me on Snapchat," and they would put the username, the Snapchat username up there, and it was always there. So you would always see. That was like one of the first things that you would see. It was like the username, that call to action right there, and then whatever picture they were sharing. So it's always great to use that location area to your advantage. Either tag in actual locations where you're at, which brings more exposure to you and your business,
Mm-hmm.
or do a call to action up there.
Right, and especially since now there's like I'm trying to look at it right now so I don't mess up what it was saying, but there's like, you can search by location. So if you're like, for example, we're in Dallas and you find somebody who's, interesting, or you search the location by Dallas, you may come across people who have posted pictures in there. And since not a whole bunch of people are actually tagging locations, you can, if you're on there quite a bit, you'll be seen by a few people who are searching the location.
Mm-hmm.
It's just another avenue for someone to find you, basically.
Right, exactly.
All right, and so these are our 2 bonus, and for anybody who's jumped in late, we do 10 ideas 2 to 3 times per week, and one of them is typically a tech item, and then one is another one via like social media. But today we're just talking about, it's not hard items as far as Instagram to do or implement to increase your engagement. It just takes a little bit of work, like anything. So we have the 10 items, and then we have 2 bonus ones that we're throwing in here today. And this is number 11. So staying consistent. And with that, you don't have to post 2 to 3 times per day. Actually, Instagram says you should post 1.5 times per day. So just kind of carry the decimal on that one, as far as, some days you post 2, some days you post 1. But if you can't post every day, try to keep it at least consistent to where you're posting 3 to 4 times per week, maybe, because you want to be at the top of mind of your consumers. And with the algorithm that Instagram's working, if you don't ever engage with them, it's not as bad as Facebook now. But I'm assuming once Instagram grows, it's going to be harder. That if somebody's not engaging with you, if they're not liking your pictures, or if they're not commenting, they're not going to see your stuff. And if you don't ever post, you will not be seen. So people want to hear about you. It's a visual field. So make sure that you are actually commenting, make sure that you are actually posting, and keep that stuff consistent. It's not talking about just posting your pictures and staying consistent with that, but staying consistent with your comments and liking other people. As a practice, I usually get on, and I don't like everybody's picture, but I do get on there and like at least 30 to 100 pictures on Instagram per day, because that way I'm engaging with my audience. You can't expect them to engage with you if you're not engaging with them. The only people who that works for is like, A-list celebrities. Brad Pitt doesn't have to like everybody's picture, and they're going to all like his stuff because it's a celebrity. But for you and I, we have to engage with that person to get engagement back.
Right. Yeah. And that goes with everything else, even Blab.
Right.
Okay, so number 12 is vary the length of your caption. I know of like 2 people come to mind. Well, one person, another pretty big company. Bobby Kim, who is the owner of The Hundreds, which is a male apparel company from Los Angeles. He's a really, really cool person. He says that he's a writer. He also runs a company. He's a designer and all that. But he's a very creative person. Right now on his Instagram, he's actually, for some reason, deleted everything that he had. But he used to share stories. And they were really, really cool stories about when the business started, people that used to work with him. And it was a long post. Instagram allows you to post up to 2,000 characters on the description of the picture. So you can go ahead and use that to your advantage and share some stories, some pretty cool stories, in order to keep people engaged. he used to do that a lot. And another person or another company that does this very, very well is National Geographic. If you don't follow them on Instagram, you probably should. It's Nat Geo, and they usually post a picture, and it's usually something obscure, so you don't know really what's going on in the picture until you actually read the description. In the description, usually, again, they tell a story of what's going on in the picture, who took the picture, and why they took the picture. And I mean, I love those. I love reading those on Nat Geo. And again, going back to staying consistent, you don't have to do this consistently, but just try it out. Try it out. Maybe one post a week or something. Do a long post. Share a story about your company. Maybe share a story about your product. Maybe share something that happened to you during the weekend. And that way, you're still staying consistent and you're trying out new things. So,
Right. I think, yeah, that's huge actually, because I mean, I think I know we're talking about Instagram, but that's perfect for Facebook or Twitter or anything else. Like, you know, sharing that story. People don't think that they want to read a lot of text, which we've been talking about earlier. Like, keep it about images and videos and everything else to keep engaged. But if you do that long text, I mean, I've had high engagement with my posts that I've done really long text with. I'll do a short text and it's like a sentence or two, but the really long ones, people are like, the people who go through it, they leave comments, you get higher comment rates, you get more likes. So I think it is a good practice to have.
yeah.
And all right, so that is our 12. I'll do a quick recap. We've been doing that the last couple of episodes for people who have jumped in later. And just to let everyone know, I'll have Christian put the YouTube link down below, but we'll post this video later onto YouTube, and you can grab our show notes, everything that we looked at for the show. If you don't want to watch this again, but you want to know this information, you can grab it below. And do a little plug here with our link, and this link is to, if you're on Facebook and you're doing ads and you want to start doing retargeting ads, we have a 10 tips to increase your engagement, increase conversions, increase sales with your Facebook retargeting ads. That's the link down there below, and we've used that, practiced that, and we've had huge engagement, huge sales with just the retargeting aspect in general. So okay, anyway, let's get back to the 12 or 10 plus 2 bonus ones today. So number 1 was to ask questions with images. Make sure that you don't only ask questions with your text, but you ask it with an image, engages with them more. Mix it up with raw video. People want to see the real person. They don't necessarily want to always see the professional video. So make it to keep it real. Number 3 is thank your audience. So when you gain a new follower, go to their picture, comment, let them know, thank them. Number 4 is use emojis, plain and simple. Just interact with them more. Find relevant hashtags to your industry. Go there, follow those pictures or follow those people, like those profiles, engage with them. Number 6 is to jump on major accounts, starting conversations there, or jump into comments in sections where people are commenting on there and you have answers to them. Number 7 is to do shout outs. So your most valued followers, your most commented, your most recent followers, take a picture of them, put them on there, and do the shout outs. Number 8 is to repost. If you have a picture that somebody else is famous, we gave the example of Ludacris. If he has a picture that's famous and it's relevant to you, share that picture, share that text, use the app Repost or Regram. Those are the 2 that we use. Number 9 is direct message people. As soon as, if they follow you and it's relevant, give them a direct message, or somebody who's really engaging with your stuff, give them a discount or just say thank you. Number 10 is always tag your location. So whether you're in Dallas, whether you're in Florida, people can find you by location, and it's just another avenue to get found. Number 11 is to stay consistent. So make sure that you find relevant times that you can post per week and keep it consistent with that as far as your posts, but also staying consistent with the amount of people that you comment and like with on Instagram. You have to give engagement to get engagement. And number 12, the last one, is vary the length of your caption. So keeping it with short captions, long captions, and varying those back and forth to increase engagement overall. So, all right. That is, again, my name is Aaron.
And I'm Christian.
And this was episode 17 of Brain 10. And you can catch this on YouTube. Thanks, guys.